Okay. Hey, everyone. Now we're on to orientation part two. This is week two of the class. And as I said, you may think it's starting a little bit slow, but I guarantee you, with all the, again, number of students going in and out, I just don't like to get started before I get most of the people who are going to be in class. It really does throw everything off and throw me off and stress out everyone because they're behind. I'd rather you just get comfortable and get settled in. That way you have a better chance to be successful. Yeah, I know some of you are probably super students and like jumping ahead, and that's fine. I appreciate that, and I will definitely appreciate your hard work. But I also have to sort of pay homage to those who need a little more time to get settled in. And I know a lot of you right out of high school may need to make some adjustments, just to, dealing with college life and just getting settled. So bear with me a little bit, and let's just be patient with the class because it's really about, as I said, quality of information and knowledge and quantity sometimes. Uh, okay, so in this part is more of the academic side, and I just kind of want to take you through, and of course you'll find this video for the class, which I'm doing right now. You'll find it here. And yes, I do expect you to watch them. But again, as I said before in the first orientation, these are all resource tools for you. So you can always come back to them. Um, and I do want you to be responsible if you have general questions. There's a lot of things that are available to you here. Um, so please do feel free to jump in and take a look around. And don't hesitate to reach out to me if you have questions that I can help with. Um, there, the syllabus video. Which I will probably just do separately, will be just a link to show you, just walking you through the syllabus, and that'll just tell you some information about it, which is, in essence, is right here. As a matter of fact, you know what I'll do? I'll just jump through it real quick now, and I'll probably eliminate this video since you won't really need it. It'll be right here. I'm going to walk you through it during this orientation. So let me click into it. Matter of fact, let me take this out of here now so it doesn't confuse anybody. I don't really need it, so I'm going to remove it. I tell you, I'd like to do stuff live on the spot. This is how Canvas works. Anyhow, if you jump into the syllabus, and I'll take you through it quickly, and I'll just do it here. You can have a couple ways you can do it. You can download the PDF, or you can just look at it online. But if you see here, of course, the basic course information and I have all my Poli-Sci 102s in here. And so you'll see the basic information for the class. Again, contact information. Here's my office number, which also reaches me to my cell phone. And then here's my emergency contact. This is my personal phone line. And again, if you have an emergency, you can certainly use it. Just shoot me a text or something and let me know. I'm much better with text than I am with voice calls because I have 300 students, and I'm also the academic senate president, and I have 300 faculty that I'm responsible for. So sometimes it can be a lot. So, and I'll always get back to you within 24 hours, usually sooner. I try to get things done and to resolve them as quickly as possible. But this lays out the description of the course. It talks about the student learning outcomes, which are probably things that you don't really care about in terms of just basic information, but are required of the syllabus. The objectives of the class. You can read through that on your own. The textbook, which is the second edition of Christine Barber, who is an outstanding author. And I'll talk more about her textbook in detail in just a second in the class. I won't belabor it here. But access to the student study site for the textbook, which is free to you, has all kinds of really useful things. And I'll show that to you shortly here too. Um, the Zoom, when you need to Zoom me or have Zoom meetings, you can click right here, take you right to my Zoom room. There'll be a waiting room for you, and then I'll jump in whenever we need to meet. And I look forward to that. Most important things here for you are sort of the weekly things you have to do. So every week you'll have to do chapter readings. Which are short chapters. And again, I'll talk more about that in just a moment as we go through the module. The video lectures, which will be just like this. After the first one will probably be like this, where you'll see me like this. But after that, they'll be with my face. Maybe a little scarred up, but still is my face. So, and then chapter PowerPoints. You'll get a chance to go through that, which are all built into the class to the each weekly module for each chapter. And then student study site, you can utilize that as needed. the chapter videos. I really want you to watch these because these really help connect what you're reading to real life. And this is why I have them there. They're all really interesting and engaging. Believe me, I don't believe in trying to bore people. I try to give them things that are engaging and sort of fun to watch or challenging. And, you know, and most of them are like anywhere from 30 minutes, a few 30 minutes, 15 to 30 minutes to an hour. But they are definitely worth it. Um, some of them are video clips off YouTube. Some places are from other places. Excuse the airplane. Uh, and then again, you have weekly quizzes you do. There are 10 chapters in the book, so there's a quiz for every chapter. And then you have your discussion posts, which are probably the most important aspect of the class. And I don't know why this messed up. That's not supposed to be like that. Yikes. Okay. Anyhow, quizzes are 220 points because there are. Huh. Oh, you know what? That includes the extra credit for the first one. Okay, and then the discussion posts are 400 points. Actually, you know what? I need to clean this up because there really should be 600 points total for the class. So I'm going to clean this up because the extra credit I give you for your getting to know each other is what is showing in here. So let me clean this up and then I'll reload it with the correct numbers. And it's just going to change the numbers here by 20 points. Um, Anyhow, it'll be 600 points, so I'll change the ranges here. I'll take care of that once I get off here. And I apologize for that. But hey, you know what? Nothing's perfect, and I'm not perfect, so that's okay. This just talks about academic honesty, talks about the things to be etiquette in terms, since these are mostly online, that how to treat each other. I'm a big stickler for not, people don't stalk each other, people don't be belligerent. Everybody has a right to their opinion. And even if we disagree with it one way or the other, sometimes it's tough to bite our tongue. But if you're going to challenge anybody about anything, please do it in a respectful manner. I'm really big about that. No matter how outlandish or crazy it may sound, people do have a right to think what they think, and hopefully we'll grow. We'll all grow and learn. And if there's ever any issues like that, cyberbullying stuff, please let me know. Again, the student resources, which again are over here, which I highly recommend you use them over here as opposed to in here. I just think this is on the Canvas is a really handy access point. And then this just is a layout for the class, which basically lays out the weekly breakdown of the class throughout the semester, shows you where we have, like a couple of weeks, like for example, week 5 and 6, civil liberty, civil rights will be in there for a couple of weeks, maybe even 2.5 weeks. And then we've got legislative branch a couple of weeks, and then all the other ones mostly get 1 week until we get to the end of the semester where we have chapter 10, we have a couple of weeks in domestic and foreign policy, and then the final week which will be a cleanup week for us. So that's the syllabus. Again, I'll make the correction and reload it for you here shortly. I just wanted you to be able to see that, but I'll clean it up and get it out right away. In fact, after we get out of here, I'll take care of that. Okay, just to go through a few more things here, because I really don't want to make these videos too long. Again, the course roadmap basically is that last part of the syllabus that tells you basically what to do every week. I just cut it out and separate it so in case you need to see what's there, it's just broken down here for you week by week. And then the other things in here I think that are valuable. One is the student study site for the textbook. I'm actually going to move it down below the textbook. Actually, I'm going to move it down here. So first, I'll get into the textbook first. The textbook basically looks like this. It's the American government called AmGov, The Long Story Short by Christine Barber, who is a colleague and an outstanding scholar. And one of the things I love that she did with this book, which is why I've used it, and I've critiqued and used hundreds of, I shouldn't say hundreds, but certainly 30 or 40, maybe 50 books over my career in doing American government, and I've worked for numerous publishers working on their American government books. But the thing I love about this book, and I wish every class had this for the introductions, is that it's the first textbook that operates from the premise that you may not be a political science major, that you, in fact, it takes the basics and gives you the basics. And I love that about what she does in this book, is that she simplifies complex things. And it's an incredibly visual and easy to read book. You could probably find it for 15, 20 bucks now. It's been out for a couple of years. Um, and so it's my favorite book, and it's incredibly readable. You see what it looks like there. So, if you can find it online, probably in Chegg and Amazon and other places that you get textbooks, you can find it online. Um, and you could probably, and you can even Google it, probably find it, and you can also get it in the bookstore. So don't hesitate to find it wherever you can. But you do need to get it soon because I really want everybody to be ready to go by the time semester starts. That's really important. So do take care of that as quickly as you can. And I try to use it. It's one of the cheapest and best textbooks that I've ever used by far. In fact, number one on my list. Your purchase options, of course, this is how you can get it. And again, I just give you some ways to do it here, but you can also not be bothered with this. You can utilize this, which I think it's like 30 bucks in the ebook version, but that's for brand new. Again, I think you can find live versions of it even more cheap. But take a look around and get it wherever you need to get it, and I'll be very happy as long as you have it ready to go by week 3. Um, the student study site, yeah, this is what I want to show you. So here, it's great because you have access, and I'll click on it here, this little thing above the book. This is where you want to click on, and it'll take you to another site, which by the publisher, which has all of these various resources for you as students for each chapter. So this, for example, Civil Rights, Civil Liberties chapter, it'll give you the learning objectives, and it give you the ebook for the e-flashcards rather for the book. And so here, the great thing is, like, for example, what is a bill of attainder, right? And you can just flip it over, and there it is, right? And then it goes to the next one. You can go, and there's 45 cards in here, but it helps give you an idea of what were the black codes, right? And it just tells you what they are, and boycott, what is a boycott? So you get a chance to learn, and without having to write your own cards, you can actually have them right here and access for you right as you need it. So that's really a cool thing that I think for you as students is really handy and very valuable. Okay, moving on here, and I try to put as many things in here to help you as possible. So I have videos here on how to do the discussions, just to help you, give you an idea of what they look like. And I did two-part, how to do them, instead of an overview, how to do them, and then just some information about the discussions. There are sample discussion posts, because one thing I'm big about in the discussions, don't take them lightly, and don't think that, oh, I can write a sentence or two and I'm done. The ones that will impress me will be the ones that, and I do expect them to be about a good paragraph in length to maybe 2 and sometimes 3, depending on what you have to say. Um, but I'm looking for depth in your writing and for you to what you think about what you really read. And again, because there's not a lot of requirements for each chapter, I want these to be really good. So, if I tend to be pretty lenient in the first one, just because I'm trying to get you to kind of get on your feet and say, hey, I need more. There's not enough analysis or not enough thought put into this. But I guarantee you that the more you do, the more you put into this, the more you'll get out of it. And again, for those who do great on this part of it, I will reward you with even over the general max score. I will reward extra credit points. So that's important. Below that is the quizzes video, which just shows you how to do the quizzes. I have videos for the modules, just how the modules work, and that's what we're actually doing now. And then there's, again, the getting to know each other. This is basically one of the things I want you to do by that end of that first week, or end of the second week rather, at the latest. Um, and this is basically, you're going to just test a little bit about yourself. So when you go through here, here's a prompt. Why are you taking the class? So first you say, hey, my name is Rick, right? My name is Rick. Um, and why are you taking the class? Have you taken the online class before? What's your interest in politics, if anything? LOL. And what is your interest in American government, if anything? That's me being funny, so get a little laugh there. And then what's something about yourself? If you want to share something, it doesn't have to be, like, crazy, but just, if you want to share about your interest or what you like to do, or, whatever, returning to school or just whatever that is, then please feel free. I would say, please don't put any, like, like your phone number or personal stuff like that, public to anybody. And even when you're writing messages to me, people like I use Pronto a lot for things. You'll see in Pronto, you can message me through Pronto. And but if you do, make sure you're messaging directly to me and not messaging through the class if you have really personal stuff. Uh, that way, and I've had it happen unfortunately before, where in the past people would submit the right to me directly, and then they send it out to the class, and then it's like, that's problematic because I respect your privacy. Um, so that will be due by the end of the second week. And then you're done with week 2 of the orientation, which covers the academic stuff. Below there, you'll have a Zoom link to my office hours, which will be in here. I just haven't stuck it in there, but you already have it up above anyway, but I'll stick it in there again for you. So if you want to just click in from Canvas, you'll be able to click right into it right there in Canvas. And then after that, we'll jump into the weekly modules. And you can see in the weekly modules, and I'll just give you an example. They're all structured the same way. And this one's for chapter 1. And you'll see first a chapter overview, which includes the learning objectives for the chapter, as well as my chapter lecture, uh, which basically is me telling you about the chapter, talking to you about the chapter. These tend to be about 30 minutes in length. I try not to make them too long, but I have to put enough information. Some of them may be a little longer, just depends. And then here are the PowerPoints for the chapter videos, which are built right in here too. So if you go in and you'll see chapter 1, sometimes there'll be just one, sometimes there'll be lots of them. Lots meaning like usually no more than 3, but there may be several in other ones. But the first one is just, I want to get you thinking a little bit. And then again, this is the flashcards. I'm sorry, I'm back here, chapter 1. Sorry, here are the flashcards, which are the same I showed you over here, and the e-flashcards. It takes you to this link. That's where that will take you. And then the quiz and the discussions. These are under the assignments tab. So you'll see the due dates for them, so you know when they're due. So when you click on this, it takes you to the quiz, and then you'll be able to take the quiz. Please remember, when you do the quizzes, you get one shot at them, so you cannot close it and open it and come back. So when you sit down to do it, they're 40 minutes, and you get to have 20 questions to answer in 40 minutes, I think, or something like that. So it's not hard to do. But the first one's pretty challenging, so you make sure you really have to read the book, to read the chapter to be able to do the quiz well. But you have your book with you, and it's open book. So if you've looked at the chapter, then it's going to be easier for you to be able to answer the questions. So don't try to take them, and I can't stress this, don't try to take the quiz without looking at the chapter. And I mean, you have to do more than just glance at it. This is my way to hold you accountable for the reading. The book is not long, the chapters aren't long, but I do need you to read them. It's important. And it's going to tie together the videos. So if you read the chapter before you watch stuff, it's really going to help make the videos come to life. If you watch the videos without looking at the chapter, it's not going to give you as much context. So always read the chapter first, listen to the lecture, and then watch the video. It'll help. And then the discussion post. And these, again, like for example, I'll click on one so you can see what it looks like, just to give you an idea. So in here, again, usually there'll be a video clip or a couple of them, and then I'll ask you a question. And you only have to pick one. You don't have to answer both of them. You pick one of these to answer. So if whatever one interests you the most, you can pick that one to answer. Okay? So only one of the two do you have to answer. If you decide you want to respond to both for extra credit and do more over and above, that's perfectly fine too. Okay? And each of the chapters looks exactly the same. I try to structure it so when you go to chapter 2, for example, you see it looks just like chapter 1. Again, you have your chapter overview stuff, your chapter resources, and then your assignments. Okay? And that is pretty much it for the overview and to give you a layout of the class. And if you have any other questions, please let me know. And thank you guys for your time. I will see you in the next couple of weeks. Okay, take care.